Hello, this is Reece MacDonald along with
Medina, and this is the Bucket Madness. So today we're going to talk about college basketball, March Madness, and really everything that has to do with it. Current date is February 27th. So March Madness is starting up soon in around a month. We're both excited. So today we're just going to talk about everything that really has to do with college basketball, like current rankings, predictions, and who will make a deep run into the tournament. And also just talk about some certain players that we think are doing well. So Reece, you want to start us off with the deep run?
Yeah. What's unique, I think, about March Madness is that you have these one seeds that come into the tournament. Everyone's favored. They think they're going to win, but somehow they get upset by some team that no one's heard of. It seems to happen every year, and I think that's the beauty of the March Madness tournament because these upsets happen and everyone's bracket gets destroyed. But right now, looking at the tournament, the top three seeds as we speak right now are number 1, Houston, number 2, Purdue, yeah, number 3, UConn.
Yeah.
Obviously, UConn, they won it last year, so I can't remember a team that's won it in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
But so I feel like UConn is going to be kind of overlooked in that way. I mean, they're still a good team. They have some good players.
Yeah.
Houston's just seems like they're a team that's always good every year. They always make it to the tournament. They're always a pretty good seed, but they can just never really get over that hump in the Elite Eight. They just can't get over that. And then number 2, Purdue obviously got upsetted last year. You know, they have one of the top players in the country in Zach Edey, 7-foot monster. They're a good team. They can win it, but really anyone can win the March Madness. It's in these different places. Like, it's not someone's home arena. So.
Totally. Like you could have like a 20 seeded team coming in. Like look at like FAU last year, Florida Atlantic. They came in being like at 23 and coming in to like the Final Four, I believe. And they did lose it, but they made their run. I feel like with Houston, they always like you said, they make their run. They're always high seeded, but they never really they don't support their ranking. They get into the tournament, then they lose to a team that's not as good as them.
Yeah.
And I feel like with UConn, that's not the case because they're just an overall good team, and they always they'll play good teams and still beat them. Houston will play bad teams and end up losing. So I feel like it's kind of weird to see. So we're gonna change over to predictions of March Madness. Personally, I'm not really sure. I feel like I have Marquette. I feel is gonna go pretty far. They've had a great year. They have a great team overall, really great coach. I also think a team like Duke, they're kind of overrated, but they're also not a bad team. You know, they have their new coach he's young, he's doing a great job. They have a lot of great players, so I feel like maybe they make a good run this year. I mean, they used to always be good in March Madness.
Yeah,
a couple of years they started to fall off, but maybe this is their year. Even with North Carolina as well. They're at the 9th seed right now, just ahead of Duke at 10. Also, we have Creighton. You know, I feel like I haven't really seen them personally this high ranked. They're at 12 currently, so maybe they might even make a run. What do you think?
UConn too.
They did beat UConn. That was a good game. It got kind of heated because you have two Big East rivals basically playing against each other. Was it at Creighton?
It was at Creighton.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a good game. What do you think though?
So teams that I'm looking at to make a deep run tournament are obviously Houston, UConn, Purdue. I expect them to get at least to the Sweet 16. Purdue especially. I also am looking at Tennessee, and they're a good team.
Yeah.
They've had some impressive wins. They just play overall good basketball, and I think not a lot of people have. More people are looking at the top 5 right now, and Tennessee's right there with the rest of the team. So,
I mean, they're at 4, and I feel like most don't even look at Tennessee. I feel like they kind of just it's like goes over their head because they never would think Tennessee would be like a higher ranked because they haven't really had like an amazing team in like the past. But this year, I mean, they're at 4, and I feel like they might actually make a run. Do you know who beat Purdue? 16 last year?
Yeah, I do actually. It was Fairleigh Dickinson University, FDU.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they're the 16 seed. They beat Purdue, and
Yeah.
I remember that.
So like teams coming in like that, that's kind of crazy. Like you have like teams that you really never heard of beating really good teams. You don't really see it as much. They're gonna go far. They're gonna go past the Sweet 16 and make a run for it. But I mean, yeah, teams like that really come in.
And then Virginia,
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah,
beat them. That game was crazy.
that was.
Just a wild one.
I mean, we have like Dayton. Like I've never really heard of them, and they're coming in at 21.
Yeah.
They beat some good teams. San Diego State, past couple of years, have been doing well. We have South Carolina, coming in as well. I mean, there's teams that we've really not heard of, but they're doing well this year. So I mean, really good for them. But so we're gonna move on to individual players. Reece, do you want to start? I know you have a couple, so
I have a couple, yeah.
Okay.
So to start, I'm going to start in the Big East with Marquette.
Okay.
Marquette's Tyler Kolek. He's a guard for them, and what makes him so good is his unselfishness. Obviously, his first year only averaging 2.3 assists, and now he's averaging 15 points and 7 assists, shooting 39% from 3. I think he came into college as a good passer, but he's really expanded that. He's upped his assist numbers and his scoring, and he's just an overall. You look at the position point guard. The job of the point guard is in this stuff, initiate the offense, get everyone involved, and he does that. You know, he just makes great passes, like unbelievable passes, but he's also able to score the ball too when his team needs it.
And his leadership is definitely, I feel like, has gone greater than like ever before right now. And he's definitely, I mean, I've watched a couple games and he's really popping off for their team.
And then another player that I want to talk about is from Villanova. Could be last year when Villanova beat Houston in the Elite Eight. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
He got hurt, and that really set him back. This season he's only averaging 9.8 points when last year he was averaging like 13 points. Can score the ball at a high level. Some of his numbers have gone down. Part of that is because of the injury, but he still is as good as he was a couple of years ago, just not scoring as efficiently as he was, but he's still, he's still a good player. So
yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna go with, again, Big East player, Devin Carter, Providence. He's having a great year this year. His draft stock has gone up a ton, so really good for him. His stats for this year: 19.3 points a game, 3.6 a block, assist, and 8.3 rebounds. So he's helping his team out a lot. Beginning of the season, Bryce Hopkins did get injured with a torn ACL, so Devin Carter had to take on that leadership role, and I feel like he did it in a great way. I mean, unfortunately, they're kind of having a tougher year because Bryce Hopkins, he didn't start off the year great, as their like number one guy, but he would get rebounds, he would get blocks, he would really help the team. But they haven't. I mean, they play Marquette tomorrow night. I believe Marquette's gonna win that, unfortunately, because I do like Providence kind of bandwagon, just because like my sister started going in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've never really watched them before. I mean, I remember last year they played Kentucky. They lost in the first round.
Yeah.
And they had a somewhat decent team. Maybe this year, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna start a run, but I kind of had a bandwagon. And Georgetown's doing terrible, really. Like they're really not doing much. But yeah, I mean the Big East though, overall, it's just such a strong conference.
It is, yeah.
And like
about 2 teams that are weak. It's Georgetown at 9-18 and DePaul.
DePaul, yeah. I feel like most of the teams in the Big East are gonna actually make a decent run in March Madness tournament. With my second player coming in, I have Rob Dillingham. I mean, he's a freshman. He's a stud, honestly. He's 16 points a game, 4 assists and 4 rebounds. I mean, he's coming in as a freshman. Let's see. He's like...
What school does he go to?
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I mean, they're seeded right now, I believe, like 16 or something. But he's really doing... For a freshman, you wouldn't really expect it. He did play last year he played at OT. You know, it's kind of an overrated type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, players are getting paid, not NIL like college players, but they do get paid. They go to school. They're all young, but he did play there, and then he went to Kentucky. He's just doing great at Kentucky. He's really known now. I believe next year he is already eligible for the draft. So his draft stock again is going up every game. They do play Mississippi State, which I think will be an easy win for Kentucky. But he's just a great player. And I feel like he's talked about, but he's not talked about like Jared McCain. You know, Jared McCain, he's coming into Duke. He's not a bad player. He's just like, it's kind of weird. Like, what do you think about him?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen him that much. I mean, obviously, Cooper Flagg's been talking about.
Yeah, more about Duke. Yeah,
but
I see more Jared McCain on like TikTok than I do like playing basketball.
Yeah,
which I feel like is not a good thing because like when you're good at a sport, I feel like you should focus on that.
Nowadays too, you got all these social media outlets. You just see these videos, highlight videos of these players being made, and I think all it shows is the goodness, but people don't see are the negatives.
Yeah,
some things
behind
that
it.
this player doesn't do well.
Mm-hmm. So totally. Yeah, so those are a few players that we think are doing really well. I mean, I think we had 3 Big East players. Rob Dillingham, that's Kentucky. What is that? It's
Kentucky SEC.
SEC, yeah. I feel like the Big East and the ACC are one of the 2 strongest divisions in college basketball.
SEC too is going to be good. Tennessee and Kentucky.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Where's Houston?
Houston is in the actually not totally positive about where Houston is, but
I'm not really sure. I know it's like with like Texas and stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely isn't. I feel like the Big East tournament's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. So that's really all we have today. I want to thank Reece for joining us and, talking about, I feel like this was a decent podcast. I mean,
it was.
I feel like we talked about it.
I'm just excited for the tournament.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, even though it's a month away,
yeah, I'm
just getting excited because like there's so much that could happen that you can't expect. You can't really expect the March Madness because it can just go like lopsided. Like, it's like I bet you there's a stat, but like it's only like 1 out of something that actually get their like bracket completely right.
Also, just want to put it out there. Last year I did pick UConn to win, and they won.
Oh, you actually did?
I didn't get a perfect bracket, but I did pick them to win.
Yeah.
So this year I'm looking to go 2-2 now.
Yeah, I mean we didn't say who do you think's gonna win it this year.
I think that Purdue will win it.
Purdue? I think I honestly have like I have a strong feeling that like Marquette. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just feel like they want it so badly in a good way. Like I don't think anything's gonna stop them because they can beat Tennessee, UConn, Purdue, Houston. They can if they play them. I think they have a strong chance of actually making it far.
Anyone can beat anyone,
really. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the best team. Like, it just matters like who's the coach and like really like the connection between each player. If you play more as a family than just like teammates, you're gonna win every game. I mean, like if coaches can like basically teach that to their players, it really wins them games. So yeah, that's all we have for today on the Bucket Madness. I mean, I hope we create more podcasts eventually.
I could see us definitely.
I feel like this could be a thing. So I mean, yeah. So this was great. Thank you, Reece. This was fun. Yeah, it was. This was the Bucket Madness, and goodbye.